Hello and welcome to Playing with Concepts, a video series dedicated to highlighting games as an artistic endeavour. These will usually be independent or small-scale games which are quite short, either very cheap or free, and on the PC. If you enjoy the videos, consider liking and subscribing. Recently we've seen a flurry of critically acclaimed and well-received popular games that centre on both human interaction and the consequences of the decisions we make as players. Some good examples of such games include the games made by Telltale, such as The Walking Dead, and more recently Life is Strange by Don't Nod Studios. Here we have another example of a game that involves human interaction and the consequences of decision making, albeit an example which has more stripped down basic gameplay, could potentially be more insightful, and if nothing else has a shorter play length. That is the video game The Novelist. In The Novelist, the setup is that of a family who are out for a summer retreat. They hope to be brought together in their isolation. They rent a house and hope to address some of the issues they've been having individually and more collectively as a family. The father figure has to write the next book their reputation asks of them, the sort of second album, the sequel. The mother especially feels she wants to work on their marriage, but she feels maybe coming apart if she feels she's drifting apart from her husband. And the son, the child, has to deal with issues of bullying and educational development. So we're dealing with some fairly strong major commonplace issues, that is that of work-life balance, marriage, relationships, some of the issues associated with growing up and becoming a young adult. And it's within this context that you actually play a benevolent spirit or phantasm that occupies this rented accommodation. And as this benevolent spirit, you must remain undetected whilst moving around the house hunting for clues that will cause you some insight into the characters' thoughts, feelings, and what motivates them. So as I say, you must remain undetected, but you're also searching for clues. You can read the characters' thoughts to some degree, and you can also, on certain occasions, explore their memories. And as well as trying to understand the characters that the game presents, you're also searching for a resolution or a compromise in the decisions that mainly the father figure has to make. These decisions usually involve how to spend his time, whether it's on his work, on the book, on patching up the relationship with his wife, or on spending some quality time with his son, trying to address some of the issues he has. Critically, with most of these games, each decision features a compromise between the three characters, or the cost-benefit for every decision, and there's usually some compromise that can be made, but there's always someone you may be letting down. However, that being said, the gameplay itself is both quite simple and fairly rewarding. You don't feel like you've been cheated out of much. We have a decent use of a stealth mechanic, which adds some element of more traditional gameplay, as well as real-life, simple human elements, which are often lacking some of the more bombastic, over-the-top games that use these kind of consequences in decision-making. Furthermore, the game has decent use of music, and has fairly good pacing. It's broken down into chapters, and each chapter ends with the family going to sleep, and resolution where you decide what advice to give the characters as they sleep, and you then see some of the consequences. So it's good for quite short play sessions. Speaking of which, the play sessions can last about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and the whole game itself will probably take about 2.5 hours, 3 hours to finish. I'd recommend this game for anyone who's a fan of the Telltale game series, both The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead. If you enjoyed yourself with Clementine, I'd certainly recommend this. If you've also been enjoying Life is Strange, which has been getting very good reviews. Similarly, if you're a fan of soap operas or just human stories and you don't necessarily want to see just explosions and 2D characters, then certainly this is worth checking out. Lastly, this might sound like a strange one, but I'd also recommend this game for people who don't have a lot of time at the end of the day but still want to play something, because it's very much a game about the life you're living. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.